Welcome back to Anderson's Lovin Life, and today we have a Q&A. This is the second time we're filming this video, so hopefully we get it.
We're actually filming it now.
Well,
the other one didn't film.
Yeah. So anyways, we talked and it didn't film. So anyways, I got it to where like now I can see that it's filming. Anyway, so Q&A time. First of all, you guys said you wanted to do questions and us to do answers, and we had never done one because we just felt like we didn't have enough subscribers or enough viewers to do that. And so now you guys requested and you asked the questions, and I think we have some answers. So let's go for it.
Ashley
Fahey says, a few questions for you guys. What denomination is your church?
We are part of the Assemblies of God organization out of Springfield, Missouri.
Yes. So we are Pentecostal.
Yes.
We are not hair up, skirts down Pentecostal.
Yeah.
Although that's a bad thing. Obviously I have short hair, so I wear pants. So anyway.
Do you have parents and siblings? Yes, we do. We do have parents.
Yeah. He's a smart aleck. But yes, it says...
I have an older brother, and Stacy has 3 older brothers.
Yes. He has an older brother, Brian, and I have 3 older brothers. Jeff, I have a brother, Brian, and my brother, Garland. And as far as parents go... You've
mom and dad.
Michael's mom and dad, and then I have a mother that's still living, and my father passed away last year, and so yeah. And then it says,
do you guys plan on having children? If it happens, it happens.
Yeah. And I cried terribly, like when we thought we were videoing the first one, and so I'm glad I got that over with, so you don't have to deal with it. But if it happens, it happens. I cannot have children. And so the doctor said that they could do some procedures to try to see if we could have kids. It's very expensive, and we just didn't feel like that was something that we wanted to do at this time. Michael's age and my age, we don't. But we do have Ben. Yeah. And Ben is...
And who knows? Who knows what will happen in the future?
Yeah, we don't know. As far as children, we have fur babies. We have Macy, Gidget, and Snowball. Those are our fur babies. And so it says, what profession do you have, Stacy? I work for the city of Washington. I previously worked for the city of Elwood. And when we left Elwood, I had planned on getting out of the political part of it, and I planned on getting out of the government sector. But that just didn't, that's what God had planned. A door opened up here. I work for the city of Washington. I am a floater, but I work mainly for our utility department, and I have a fantastic work family. I mean, and he will attest to that. I mean, they are very supportive in everything that we do. I have a great boss. She is wonderful. I work in the collections and small claims part of it at this time. The girl that used to do that left, and so I kind of moved on to her job, and so that's the part of the job I do. And so basically, like, that's what I do, and I have a fantastic job, and I can't complain. So
it says, is there anything new you would like to try? Lots of things, different travels and things like that.
Yeah.
But of course, we're always going to be going back to Disney.
Yeah, and it does ask, when are you guys going back to Disney? Well, we do have a trip announcement coming up, so we will announce that later. But we we'll be going soon, so stay tuned. And then
Q&A.
This is from Barbarapari. So Barbara is one of our faithful viewers, and she comments a lot on our videos, and thank you, Barbara. So hopefully I pronounced your last name right.
She asked, how old are the two of us? I'm old, and she's not as old as I am. No, I am 40. And Stacy is
I just celebrated the 10th anniversary of my 29th birthday, because at 29 I stopped having birthdays. So, but no, I'm 39 years old. So,
one for me. What made you want to be a minister, and where did you study? Having been raised in a family of faith, it's something that we were raised with faith, and we saw what it was like to be a Christian and walk with faith and see God do miraculous things and make a way where there seemed to be no way in many forms. And I knew at a very early age in life, around 4 or 5 years old, that I would be involved in ministry. My cousins tell the story that by the time I was 5 and 6 and 7, that I was preaching to family members. And but pretty much after my salvation experience at church camp at the age of 8, that sort of concreted my faith in the Lord. By the age of 12, I was working toward ministry. And as a teenager, I traveled and sang and played piano and organ with Lois Irwin. She wrote a song that's in most of our hymn books, the song "The Healer," and I got my start from her. And I went on to Bible college in my late 20s, and just before we were married, and went into full-time ministry shortly after we were married.
Mm-hmm.
And we've just enjoyed ourselves working for the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Where did you study?
I went to World Harvest Bible College in Columbus, Ohio. The school has since then changed names. It's now called Valor School of the Bible. And amazing school. It's a hands-on ministry school. It's not where you go sit in a stuffy classroom all day long every day of the week. It's where they actually take you on the field and learn evangelism and learn how to minister to people the way that Christ would want us to minister to people.
And then Judy Thomas.
She says, each of our favorite Disney movies. Mine would be Swiss Family Robinson.
Mm-hmm. And my current favorite Disney movie, just because, I don't know, it just is Beauty and the Beast. I love to watch it.
It plays often.
It plays often in our house. But probably my ultimate all-time favorite Disney movie. I have so many, y'all. I was like raised on Disney movies, and I love musicals. So
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mary
Mary Poppins is probably my favorite, all-time favorite. I love Mary Poppins. So anyway.
Okay.
Where in the world would you both like to travel to?
Everywhere, literally. I was raised in a military household, so we traveled all over the United States. I've been to every state except for like 5. And so I'd like to take her to all those places and let her see all of it. But we've talked about traveling, maybe doing a Disneyland Paris trip, go and see all the museums and go to the Eiffel Tower and all those things. And maybe travel Europe, things like that.
Yeah.
But that'll come when we're older.
Older and have the money to do so.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds like that's pretty much. Yeah, you pretty much wrapped it up in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, if it's not too personal, I would love to hear about how you both met and got engaged.
We've known each other since we were kids.
Since we were just by
Stacy's family went to church with my grandparents at the Elwood Church of God. Mm-hmm. And I used to see her when we come for special events, revivals, homecomings, gospel sings, things like that. Mm-hmm. And she was a prissy little girl. And when I was little, I thought, she's just a brat. But I moved away with my parents, and then I came back as an adult to take care of my grandmother after my grandfather passed away, because I was the only single grandchild that had time, and so I took on that role to help my grandmother. And I went into a diner one day to eat, a little restaurant, and I thought the waitress really looked good looking. And it turns out
I was a little bit thinner than to y'all.
It turns out it was her.
Yeah.
And so our friendship was just rekindled, and it took about 2 years of hard work on my part to get her convinced that I was the one that she was supposed to go with.
Yeah.
So
we you could come in, and it was my mom's diner, so I pretty much worked like all the time.
Yes.
And
6
so,
days a week.
but I usually worked like the later shift because my mom would go in and do like the mornings, and then I would come in and like be like, I was kind of like over the like high school kids that came in and worked. And so it was great. After college, I had moved back home, and I worked for a firm for a while, and I got really burnt out. And I also had worked for the pizza place that I had worked for through college. And so when I came home, I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And so all of my siblings have worked for my parents, worked for my dad. I had worked for my dad for a short period of time. Like, I did a lot of like I didn't work on site with dad, but I did a lot of other stuff, but I never worked for mom. And so I was like, hey, can I work for mom? And they said, yeah. So worked for mom, and then he comes in, and I guess basically he'd been coming in. He'd asked me out a couple times, and I had said no. And then you kind of like tricked me into going on a date with you.
Mm-hmm.
Trickery. And like his mom would come in, and they would be like, oh, you make a great daughter-in-law. And I'm like, okay, thanks. And I just really wasn't interested in really having a relationship with anybody at the time. It was just very, not that I was self-absorbed, but I was kind of like on my own track, and I didn't want anybody to like detour where my plans were going. And so anyway, we ended up dating. And how it kind of worked was, like, I knew that Michael was going into the ministry. I did not want a man that was going to be in the ministry. I had prayed that God would send me, a good godly man, someone who was faithful to him, somebody who would be faithful to me, and somebody who would be faithful in attending church. And but I didn't. I did, but I didn't really want a minister. And anyway, long story short, this is what happened. I went to bed one night and I prayed, God, I love Michael, but I don't love him in the sense that he wants me to love him. I want to be his friend, and that is all. Please open his eyes to know that this relationship is not going any further other than a friendship. I woke up the next morning crying, sobbing, in love, totally, completely in love with Michael. And instead of God changing his heart in the night, God changed my heart. And so we dated.
Here we are.
We started dating officially dating in January.
Yep. 12
we were
years
engaged
ago this month.
in March.
Mm-hmm.
And we got married in August. So it was a very quick dating, courtship, engagement, marriage. Yeah. Okay, so anyway.
Okay, Miss Barbarapari, I think that's the name.
Yes.
She asked, how did we meet? We just told that right there, sorry. And where is Ben from? Ben is from Norway.
Yeah.
And we have some friends who had asked us about taking on a foreign exchange student 2 years ago. But 2 years ago was such a turbulent year for our family. Stacy's dad got sick. And passed away. Stacy's niece was murdered, and we had to deal with that whole situation there. It would just not have been a good year to have a foreign exchange student in our home, and so we put that off.
Said no.
And then they called us this past summer and said, "I have a perfect student. His family, they are in the ministry, and they only want their son to go to a Christian home." And so we prayed about it and talked about it. And we said, you know what, we'll take him in. So Ben is here with us. Yeah. And he is from Norway. And we look forward to going to Norway one day. Ben
is a really good kid.
He's here, but you don't hear him.
Yeah,
he's very quiet.
He's probably still in bed,
he's
actually.
Probably like mice.
So he probably really is still in bed. Like, we've already been up and had breakfast and coffee and filming videos, and he's still in bed or he knows that we're doing this. He doesn't want to come in here. So anyway, but he's a great kid. And then
Barbara asked, what is the church that we pastor at? We pastor at, the church's current name is Kingdom Life Assembly of God Church in Washington, Indiana. But we are going to be changing the name here very soon to the Assembly at Washington. And so we're going to have a new name in this new year. And so we're looking forward to that. I think that's all the questions that we have.
It seems like you've missed something here.
Several people asked this question. Are we going to Disney soon?
There's a trip
There is
announcement.
a trip announcement coming soon. So I think that's pretty well covered everybody.
Yeah.
And because you talked about your profession.
Yep.
I talked about school and all that stuff and who we are and what we do. And most of all, this year is going to be a good year. We're going to do lots of good things. And there's going to be a lot more videos this year because I'm going to do some of our cooking videos that we do, some canning. If you like canning, if you want to know how to can, there's going to be a set on my channel. I'm going to have a channel that we're going to teach canning and all that stuff. But we're going to reserve this channel here
just kind of for like our adventures,
for the things we do that are fun. So you'll get to see Stacy go out and shoot the guns one day and things like that right there. So we're going to have a lot of fun this year.
So we just love you guys. Thank you for asking all these great questions. I think we got to everybody. If we didn't, we're very, very sorry. Feel free to ask more questions, and we will maybe later on do another Q&A. And so we hope that you all have a very prosperous, blessed, favorable new year, and we pray that God will just show you favor in every aspect of your lives.
18 is the number of prosperity.
Yes.
So remember that.
God is good, and we'll see you real soon.
See you soon.